Welcome to the Simply Imperfect Podcast. If you're on the hunt for perfection, you may want to keep looking because we are imperfection at its finest around here. However, if you're looking to have conversations covering the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between about life, you've come to the right place. We not only embrace life's imperfections around here, we celebrate them. So for those of you who've decided to join us on this journey, go grab yourself a beverage, sit down, settle in, and let's get started. Welcome back to the Simply Imperfect Podcast. On this episode, I want to go back to something that was mentioned in a previous episode. And that is of the missing turned homicide case of Kylen Schulte and Crystal Turner. I previously mentioned this in the Gabby Petito episode, and I feel it's important to go back and talk about it more because even though this case got some media coverage with its connection to Gabby, I feel there's a lot more that can be talked about and brought forth to the public because it was the public, it was the media attention on Gabby's case that brought a lot of facts forward to help at least locate her body, and any little bit I can do to bring exposure to somebody else and hopefully bring justice to these two people's families is the least I can do. So Kylen and Crystal met in 2019. Kylen had just moved to the area and she was out hiking with her dad when they both met Crystal. Kylen's dad said that he just watched his daughter fully blossom after meeting Crystal, and their relationship quickly turned from friends to dating, and then in April of 2021, the two were married in a treehouse ceremony. In August of 2021, the two were living and camping in the LaSalle Mountains, which was outside Arches National Park. The two were working in Moab. Kylen was working at the Moonflower Cooperative. Crystal was working at McDonald's at the time, but had plans to start a new job at the Trailhead Public House. The couple was last seen at Woody's Tavern in Moab on August 13th. There was security footage from the tavern showing them leaving about 8:30, 9 o'clock. One of the last people to see the couple was Kayla Borza, and she is quoting as saying, "The couple was last seen at Woody's Tavern in Moab on August 13th, where security footage shows them leaving the tavern around 8:30, 9 o'clock. A friend of the couple, Kayla Borza, is quoted as saying, "We were just having a great time, having a couple drinks." It's also mentioned that they did make a comment about a creepy guy at the campsite next to them, and that if something happened to them, it was this creepy guy's fault. When the next day, on August 14th, neither one of them showed up to their jobs, their family and friends said this was completely abnormal. And on August 16th, they were reported as missing. It was reported in the Tribune that the sheriff's office didn't investigate originally, saying they believe that the couple may have just left on their own. Friends and family say this just was not the case. They would not just up and leave without telling anybody. They also listed the fact that the couple's Harley Davidson was still parked in town, and there was no way the couple would leave without it. And then, after becoming frustrated with the police's lack of progress, one of the couple's friends went looking for them. According to recently unsealed warrants and court documents, which I will link as much of this as I can in the show notes, these court documents paint a picture of what their friend found. The bodies of Kylen and Crystal were found on August 18th at a campsite in the South Mesa area of the LaSalle Mountains. The unsealed search warrants say the pair was found dead in a nearby creek, partially undressed, with multiple gunshot wounds to both the bodies. The wounds were located on the back, sides, and/or chests of the victims, the court documents have stated. They were reported as missing 2 days before their bodies were found. Additionally, the documents state that Crystal had told friends that there was a creepy man around their campsite that was intimidating the women. Police seized a Kia Sorento from the crime scene and obtained an additional search warrant for a second vehicle, a 1987 Ford Econoline van that was left in a parking lot in Moab. Inside the van, investigators found a journal, a Bible, newspaper clippings, miscellaneous mail for both the two victims and as well as an additional family member. They also found notes with phone numbers and other handwritten information. Officials with the Grand County Sheriff's Office said they believe someone killed the women and then fled the area. They do not believe that there is any current danger to the public. Beyond what was in the recently unsealed documents, the Grand County Sheriff's Office has been pretty tight-lipped about what they've said. They've only stated that they have continued to follow up on tips received from the public, and that, quote, the response has benefited this office. Additionally, they warned that forensic analysis on the, quote, items of interest in this case could take, quote, several months or more to complete. Sean Paul Schulte, Kylen's father, who has been pretty outspoken about being disappointed in how the investigation is being handled, has done his own investigating. He has gone as far as setting up a booth in the Moab Park for people to drop off information they thought would be relevant. He says in the over 2 weeks he has probably gotten 30 to 35 clues to be able to pass on to law enforcement. Sean Paul is also said to have obtained a guest list of a wedding that was held in the venue relatively close to the campsite where the couple was found. Authorities have not commented on whether or not the list is in their possession or if they have reached out to any of the guests. The authorities have, however, released a rare public appeal for potential witnesses to come forward. In the statement, they say, we are asking that anyone that would have been in the South Mesa area between the dates of August 13th, August 14th, and August 15th contact our office with anything they may have seen or heard. Additionally, they have announced a local business contractor in the Grand County area has offered a $10,000 reward for any information aiding in the investigation. A private citizen has come forward and matched that $10,000. If you have any information about the double homicide of Kristen and Kylen, please contact the Grand County Sheriff's Office at 435-259-8115. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Simply Imperfect Podcast. If you've enjoyed what you've heard here today and don't want to miss a future episode, please make sure to subscribe. If you're looking for show notes from today's episode, head on over to simplyimperfect.org. While you're at it, check out the links to all of our social media accounts and join our mailing list. The Simply Imperfect Podcast is a commentary channel. The statements and views are the creator's opinion, should not be considered fact, and are for entertainment purposes only. Please conduct your own research before making conclusions of your own.